Hi, and welcome back to Children's Time. I'm so glad you could join me again today. I was thinking today as I was watching TV earlier this morning, we're really into keeping track, keeping score, particularly of sports team. Like, do you follow the baseball team or the football team will happen pretty soon, a golfer, when we watch the Olympics, the skaters, and we keep track of who gets the highest score, who's the winner. And I think carry this onto ourselves if we like to play games like bridge games or golf games and try to beat our score, or we're really excited if we beat more than anybody else that we were playing with. That's very exciting. We keep track. But we also keep score if we want to make sure that we get our fair share, particularly in our families. I think this happens. Or sometimes if we've been wronged or hurt, we want to make sure we get our sorry, before we forgive. Well, the early church was dealing with this also, and Peter, in one of today's readings from Matthew 18, asked Jesus, because Jesus was always telling them, you need to forgive each other, you need to stay friends. And Peter said, well, how about 7 times? Isn't forgiving just the same person over and over again 7 times? Isn't that plenty? So I was thinking about how I could show you 7 times or what Jesus actually ended up saying. And I was thinking about my dominoes because I really like to play domino games. And this is, I set this task for myself, which has been a total failure, of how to set up their 7 dominoes. So if I were to forgive somebody for doing something unkind to me 7 times, oh boy, I can't even make it go this time. This is what it would look like 7 times. Okay? These are all my failed dominoes, so you can see I've had quite a bad experience with them today. So it reminded me of a story I'd like to share with you today, about a little girl who had a sad experience with a bear, and she really thought it was his fault for breaking her kite. She called him horrible bear, and the bear was very offended by this, and he thought, well, if she's going to call me horrible, I'll just be horrible. So let's listen to the story and see what happens in the end.
Horrible Bear, written by Aim Dykman, illustrated by Zachariah O'Hara. A girl peeked into a cave. She reached, but he rolled. Crunch! Horrible Bear! She stomped through the meadow. Horrible Bear! She stomped all the way home. Horrible Bear! Didn't mean to, said the bat.
Bear was indignant. I'm not horrible, he said. She barged in and she made a ruckus. She woke me up. How would she like it if... Bear got an idea. It was a terrible bear idea. Bear practiced barging. He practiced making a ruckus. He practiced waking someone up.
Horrible Bear, Bat squealed.
Perfect, Bear said, and Bear stopped out of his cave.
The girl stalked into her room, but she was too upset to nap. So the girl tried drawing. Horrible Bear! She tried reading. Horrible Bear! She tried talking to the best listener she knew. That horrible bear! He broke by, and suddenly Stuffy couldn't listen as well as before. Oh, I didn't mean to, the girl cried. Oh no!
Meanwhile, Bear stomped down the mountain. Roar! 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 He stomped through the meadow. Roar! 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 He stopped straight to the girl's front door. Roar!
Which opened. I'm sorry, the girl said.
And all the horrible went right out of Bear. Bear patted, he wiped, he got another idea. It was a sweet, Bear idea.
Thank you, Bear, the girl whispered. She had a sweet bear idea, too. Bear and the girl skipped through the meadow. They bounced up the mountain. And together they patched everything up, even the kite. Nothing was horrible at all. For the moment, at least. Munch, munch, munch.
I found it really interesting that when the little girl got home and she liked to talk to her Stuffy, that was the best listener person that she knew, and she accidentally ripped off his ear. Then all of a sudden she realized that sometimes accidents are just accidents. They weren't on purpose. And so when Bear arrives, he's all set to be angry because she called him Horrible Bear and he's going to be horrible. But then she apologizes and they end up becoming best friends. So she really learned a lot and he learned also. So remember when Peter asked Jesus, how many times do I have to forgive somebody when they're not good to me? And he said maybe 7. And Jesus said, no, the answer is at least 77 times. See all these dominoes? Those are 77 dominoes. That's a lot. So that's how many times you have to forgive in order to make something right. Phew, that's good news, because if we're bad, we know that Jesus is guaranteeing us forgiveness. He's got unconditional love of us. But it also means we're supposed to do the same thing. It isn't a one-way street. And so just like we have to practice our musical instruments or singing to get better at them, we also need to keep practicing how to learn to forgive people, because it isn't something that's really easy to do. And I particularly think about it this time of the year. We're getting close to September 11th, which is such a sad day for me, and I know for many others. And it really brings it to the forefront in terms of how difficult it is to forgive people that have done such horrible things. But that's what God's here for, to help us do this and to get through it. And He wants us to do it. And He feels that the more we learn to forgive, the more that ability will grow in us. And thankfully, Jesus doesn't keep score like we do when we mess up. And He forgives us and He loves us. So we keep at it, working day by day. And this is how we do it. We say, I forgive you. I forgive you. And after a while, it feels good to say that. And it particularly feels good to hear it. So part of being able to forgive is to recognize our own faults and realize we're not perfect either. So when we're so eager to put somebody down because they just never can do anything right, we really need to think about ourselves and how much are we able to do everything perfectly also. So that way we realize we're not really better than anybody else, and we have received the same forgiveness and mercy that we need to show. So thank you so much for joining me. I might have a finale with my dominoes. I don't know. I've already had numerous negative experiences with them today, so you may not see it. But just know I'm working at it, and as I'm doing that, I'm forgiving all these people 77 times with my 77 dominoes. Hey friends, here it goes. Yay! Okay, 77. So God bless. I hope you'll join me soon. And have a wonderful, blessed week. And forgive people. Love you. Amen.